up, boys and girls? I am here with a very special guest today to have a nice little informal conversation about, the state of Pulse Chain, what's going on in Pulse Chain. Obviously there's a big thing coming up in a month, and I'm very excited to announce that I am dual streaming with Randy Hilarski. Randy, how you doing today, man? How's everything?
Doing great, man. Great weekend. I got a couple stories to tell that I think people will find interesting.
I heard you were in a thunderstorm, brother. I'm a huge fan of storms, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. So I'll get into it. Crypto this week. I mean, it was it's getting, for me, it's getting exciting again because stuff's moving. Bags that I own are starting to do stuff. So I want to see it happen with everybody, but I think we have a little bit ways to wait.
Yes.
We got a court case coming in a couple weeks. 6.5 weeks or so. It's going to happen. Yeah. I am going to New York, so if you guys are going to be there, come by and say hi. Won't be going to the case itself though. My wife's going to be with me, and non-resident Americans, meaning Americans that live abroad, we don't count as much. So Nuclear Herbs made that clear. He would rather see the courtroom full of people who actually live in the U.S.
That makes sense. No, I completely understand. And I just got to shout out this $20 super chat. I think it's from Randy Hilarski. What's up, everybody? Thank you for that. That was not necessary, but thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
You're welcome, sir. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course, man. Anytime you want to come on. Now that I know how to dual stream, this is very easy. I didn't even know how to dual stream. All it took was a click of a damn button.
Absolutely. The power of a dual stream is that you get to access audiences that aren't normally yours.
Yeah.
And then what happens is those audiences will then start following your channel. And it's a way to collaborate to help build each other's channels.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I'm doing that. I did that with Fast Abdul. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that with anybody who wants to do it. The first time I ever did it was with Money Gang, and I didn't know how the hell he did it 2 years ago. So I'm glad we figured that out. So, will I be in New York? Obviously, I'm going to be in New York. I live in New York. However, Thursday and Friday, I am working. With that being said, I wasn't going to go to the court case to begin with. That just sounds terrible. That just sounds like jury duty to me, to be completely frank and honest with you. But I am going to try my best in wholeheartedness. I know Nuclear Herbs wants to meet me. I know that you want to meet up. And I know that Ben Armstrong may be coming up as well to New York. So I may come by that Friday in the afternoon to see people, because I'll get out of work hopefully, I don't know what time, probably before 3, and I would come straight there to say hi to everybody. So I'm going to do my best. I just want to know where not the congregation, that's not a bad word, but it's
where everyone's meeting up.
Yeah, where everyone's meeting up, because I am genuinely curious to see what everyone's doing, what the prospects are. And I just hope to God, man, this case is done by the time, hopefully 30 to 60 days after this. Again, not a lawyer, but my God, I hope it's done.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm tired of it. But we watched the XRP folks deal with this for years.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. Our case, there's a lot less against Pulse X than there is against XRP. Their case was much larger, and ours is a lot of like hearsay type stuff that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So you would think that a case that has such little legs to stand on would be just thrown out right away, but for some reason they're keeping it going, and it's really weird.
And I'll be honest with you, dude. I was supporting XRP all the way up till I found out one of their co-founders supported. And again, I'm just going to get political anyway. But up until I found out one of their co-founders supported Kamala Harris, I think it was Charles Hoskinson that said it. Like, that is the definition of Stockholm syndrome, dude. What are you doing? Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? So
yeah, and let's for political sake here, I don't vote. I'm a total anarchist. I don't believe in it.
I don't blame you at this point. I don't blame you.
I was a libertarian for a short while, and then I went full on anarchist. But I did like Robert Kennedy Jr.
So do I.
He was my favorite of all the people that were running. It is cool that Trump brought him on board. I think that's a great shake across the aisle, handshake across the aisle. So let's see where that goes. I really like what Robert Kennedy Jr. says.
So do I. I did too, and that's why I don't know if this is 100% true, but I do know that Trump asked Kennedy. I don't know, but I heard that Robert Kennedy was asked to be Trump's vice president. He declined. If that was the case, I wish he was. But any part in Trump's administration is fine by me. I'm very happy to see RFK Jr. there. I think I listened to RFK's speech, and it was probably one of the best speeches I've heard in a very, very, very long time. It actually brought me to tears.
Really?
Yeah, it really did.
He's very Ron Paul-esque. I'm a Ron Paul guy.
Yes.
He's very, very much down that road.
That libertarian, Monroe doctrinist, let's not get involved in Europe ideal. And I kind of agree. I agree with that because I'm not an advocate for I don't believe in fighting wars that are not necessary to fight in.
Yeah. I made a comment the other day within my Patreon. We have a twice weekly call on the Patreon. Mm-hmm. And I was saying, if it wasn't wartime, these boys, because I'm 50 now, so to me they're boys. I'm ex-military.
Yeah, God bless you for that.
They'll be friends, man. They will be friends, no doubt, because the way the internet works today and how hyper connected we are, a lot of these guys are probably following each other on TikTok and Instagram, and they were playing against each other on Call of Duty or another PlayStation 5 game, and it just blows my mind that just because some gray hair in a suit tells them they have to go off to war, they have to go kill each other. And that just really blows my freaking mind. I think the internet, thanks to it, and cell phones have showed us that what they tell us to do is bullshit. We don't have to be fighting these wars for them.
I agree. And I know we'll go back to Pulse Chain, but I really want to talk about this for a second. Have you ever heard of the Christmas truce in World War I?
Yes, when everyone stopped, and then the Germans and the English and the French that came across shook hands.
Yeah, they shook hands. They played soccer. Exchanged gifts, and then it goes to show the legitimate question on is war kind of become. I don't think it's becoming obsolete. I was going to say obsolete. I don't think it.
It is.
You think it is?
It is, absolutely. Everything's technical now. They can do it with robots.
Yeah. That's a good point. It goes to show that there is a way to have a sense of camaraderie and peace between two opposing factions that may not even know why they're adversaries. And that actually is a really good segue into Pulse Chain, because Pulse Chain, I think right now has a lot of factionalism that's going on. I don't see it as much. Maybe it's just because I'm not on Twitter as much. Maybe it's because I'm looking at meme coins right now. But I will say that there's a lot of factionalism in Pulse Chain. Every other day, I go on Twitter and I check Pulse Chain. It's one influencer being adversarial towards another or another community, and it's just. I know this is a par for the course in cryptocurrency, especially during depression times in crypto. But my God, guys, this is we're trying to build a chain here. We're not trying to build walls. We're just not.
Yeah. It's funny. Somebody made a post in our Telegram group, in the No Permission Telegram group, that they're upset about one of the projects that hasn't been performing very well. Mm-hmm. And then one of the Maxi people, the people that only believes in owning RH coins, chimed in and said, well, maybe you should just stick with RH stuff. And that makes me laugh because, RH stuff is great, but I have increased the bags of my RH tokens by about 50-fold.
My God.
By playing the game of everything else that's on the chain.
Yeah.
So making that Maxi statement to me is really annoying, because if you just took your sacrifice bags and you held it for the whole time, and say, for example, there's a lot of people I know that didn't even LP. They just left their tokens in their wallets the whole time. They're down a shit ton. They're down 70s, 80%. Yeah. Now, if you were playing the game, you could have maybe 3 or 4 out of 10 did okay, and 1 or 2 like Solid X and Nope did very well, and you're able to take your tokens and turn those, if you wanted to, turn those into PLS and PLSX and HEX. You would have greatly increased your bags.
Exactly.
and it didn't cost you much, right? But yes, there's going to be some projects that don't perform well. There's a way that I look at projects. I've had since PulseChain come out, I've gotten involved with about 20, that have
good for you
entered PulseChain, whether as an investor, as an LP provider, or they came through no permissions and our group was leveraged to help them launch their project, whatever it was. There's different things that I look at when I'm doing these. There's like, okay, does the project have legs? Is it a good idea? Is it something that the community as a whole, the PulseChain community as a whole, will be interested in?
Right.
That's one. Are people going to be interested in the product or the project? Number two, does the team have development experience? Do they know how to build stuff? Can they write code? Can they get it audited? Do they know how to do all those things? Though that's a great one. If they don't, they do. If they don't, then they need to go maybe join the Forge and go through a process of finding coders and developers to help them build the project. Those ones take a little bit longer. And then, does the team have the funds to do it on their own? Now, if you have a great idea, you have a dev, but you don't have the funds, so then you need to go raise the funds. If you have a great idea, you don't have a dev, you have funds, then you have to go find the dev. So there's different things that you have to you look at. Now, if a team comes to you and they have all three, that one's an easy case. Like when Tetra Labs came to me and they're telling me they were going to launch Signum, the new Oracle.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And my son just dropped something. Hopefully it's not the PlayStation 5. I just got him.
That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good.
He came to me and he's like, Randy, he goes, we're gonna do it the first Oracle. It seems like the Liquid Loans guys are dragging their feet. They don't have Fetch launched. Can we get an Oracle, a decentralized one on PulseChain and do it within the next 3 weeks? And I asked him how much money you need. He told me. I sent it to him immediately. Why? Because I know he has a dev team. He has technical experience. They have proven before that they can release a project and get stuff done. All right. So I just like, here, that meme where the kid from what's that 1920s TV show with the little kids with Alfalfa and those guys?
The Munsters?
No. Well, I can't remember the name. Well, the kid's throwing the money out the window. I'm like, here, take my money, So that's how I felt with that one. So, you look at each project differently.
I agree.
Depending how many checkoffs they have is how much money you put into it.
That's a very good point. And I just want to say thank you to Chris Corrigal for the $20 super chat. Thank you both for keeping the community engaged. Solid X for the win. I want to ask you, actually, we split the super chats, correct?
No, I don't. I'm not qualified.
Why not?
They would never. Look, I'm verified on YouTube. I have a verified check mark. But for some reason, you know how YouTube needs or Google needs to send you a verification code in the email in your mail.
They never did that for you?
No, I don't. There is no mail in Panama. We don't get mail. There's no such thing as a mailbox here or a mailing address. You can get a PO box, and I tried that, but it never arrived, so I just gave up.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I kind of feel bad now that we don't split these, but
no, don't worry about it. I'm okay, man. I'm doing okay.
Okay. No. This is actually what you're saying before is actually a very good point because I can actually bring what I've learned in the meme coin sphere in a couple seconds. But there are a lot of projects on PulseChain. Again, I'm not involved in these projects specifically. I'm not invested in them. However, I am rooting for their success, and I am interviewing them. Like PTGC has done very, very well. That Coin X from that PTGC whale. The Atropia ecosystem has done very well. Solid X and Nope have done very well. The Tangang tokens, I think I don't know if they're doing well right now, but they did do well for a time. So and it's also a matter of I like how you brought up funding because this is something I've learned from meme coins. There's a lot of meme coins. What happens is the dev jeets goes away and then the CTO takes over, and the CTO is either in a couple of days' time. If you guys don't know what a CTO is, it means community takeover. The dev sells his stuff. The community takes over, and then the community either dies out because of lack of ambition, or like you said, they don't have the funds because trending is expensive. When you go on ETH trending, it's like 0.15 ETH, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but ETH right now is $300, and when you're only trending for a certain amount of time in a dead market, well, if you're going to consistently do that, it requires a lot of capital, and you need to either rely on the community or you have to hope to God the team has money. So funding does play a significant role in the capability of the continuity of a project, no matter if it's a DApp, a meme coin, or a company. You need the profit margins.
Yeah, well, with us, with crypto, there tends not to be profit margins. If you're a founder, I am SolidX and Nope, co-founder of SolidX.
Mm-hmm.
There is no profit margins for us, right? The only way we make money is being liquidity providers,
right,
and having the farms. Now, with my liquidity providing for Nope and SolidX, I earn about $100 a day.
Good.
Is that changing lives? Okay, here in the West, or like for you in New York, or for me here in Panama, $100 a day isn't like absolutely life changing. It's great. It's great money, but it's not going to change your life.
Right.
So if BBC and Inc. and 2Fucks, if all these tokens go into a 10x, now you're talking $1,000 a day, and that is life changing. 30 grand a month, that does big things, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. But being a liquidity provider at this current time as a founder, you're not earning a lot of money.
I figured as much, and to be honest with you, I guess the major question here that we're seeing is Pulse. Ben made a good point. I think it was actually on the podcast that you him and I had, and Cassie. I think that actually has. I think it may be you and KG have the highest amount of views. I think KG has 9.9. I think you may have 9.7. So that was a fantastic podcast. And Ben brought up something that I think is very important for everyone to know. Don't worry about your bags right now. I know sometimes I can be a little bit silly on Twitter. Sometimes I can complain. Sometimes that I'm a douche sometimes. But I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that right now is time to be worried or concerned, because guys, I see meme coins, most of them are scams. I see layer ones outside of Pulse Chain, they're all 70, 80, 90% down. Like, I look at XRP, I look at Cardano, I look at Phantom, I look at AVAX, I look at all these different coins that they're now not coming to my head, but they're not performing it very, very well at all. So this is not an isolated Pulse Chain incident. I want to make that completely clear. I think that why, though, people are disgruntled with Pulse Chain is because they sacrificed 3 years ago, and that's almost waiting 3 years for profit. But we kind of put
3 years of profit. 3 years. I mean, we're way down in 3 years.
Yeah,
way down. Yeah. If you just held your bags and do it
exactly.
I have a friend that has 12 billion Pulse Chain and 12 billion Pulse X.
My God.
He has never once put these tokens in liquidity. So he has not earned a penny from them since sacrifice.
12 billion. Good for him.
12 billion of each. And he hasn't done anything. He just sits on them like an egg. I'm like, bro, do you know what I would have done with 12 billion? I would have turned that into 50 billion of each by now.
That's insane. Yeah, that would have been 12 billion. Good for him. Seriously.
Yeah, but hey, to each his own. There's the old parable in the Bible where the dad gives the money to the 3 kids and or workers, or I can't remember what it was, and one goes and buries it. So that'd be my friend. He went and buried it in the backyard. Then he had one who came back with a little bit of profit. Then he had one that went out and made a shit ton of money with it. Now, I really respect the ones that go out and do stuff.
No, that makes a good point. But do you think that people are not providing liquidity or playing with these DeFi products because and this is not exclusive to Pulse Chain. This can happen on any chain. We saw it with Phantom with the bridge exploit about 7 to 8 months ago. I mean, do you think that there are some people out there that just don't LP or they don't participate in DeFi simply because they're just nervous of an exploit? I mean, we saw one, I'm not going to name it, a couple months ago that happened on Pulse Chain.
Yeah, but that you talking about? Yeah, I'm not going to say it. But that one was kind of a setup, But we haven't really had anything bad happen on Pulse Chain. the 9mm one that happened last week, that was a different situation. That was a unaudited code that was exploited. And so, that's par for the course. If people were putting their 9mm token staked in that protocol and they knew that the audit was not done, then
Right.
it's your fault for losing your money.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that the most important thing. Do you know if Pulse Police are still active, and do they still audit code for Pulse?
I haven't seen those guys in a while.
Okay, I was going to say, because I was going to recommend people go to Pulse Police and ask about these codes, because what I've learned personally is you can go to Dex Tools and you can go to Dex Screener, but their token sniffer or their intel may not be up to date at the time, or there could be hidden exploits in the code that may have not shown up. And that's not Dex Screener or Dex Tools or Token Sniffer's fault by any means. But there are some very subtle things that people can do in these smart contracts that literally can cause horrible things to happen. So, I would recommend, if anybody could, find somebody who is knowledgeable in code to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I just be careful out there.
Yeah.
For those who don't know anything about crypto, and there are people in our community that just don't know anything about crypto.
Right.
Just hold your bags like my buddy does, and that's the safest route.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to wait more time to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a great bear market. This bear market for me has felt like a bull market because I sold at right times. I pulled out all of my I went to Stables back in July of 2023, right before the court case was announced, because I was paranoid about the blue moon that was happening in August, 2 full moons in a month. And I said, look, that's very negative. I want out. And I told my group, I said, guys, I'm out. And then 5-6 days later, that's when the court case was announced. So I saved a shit ton of money there. I just, like the other day, this is going to go off Pulse Chain for a second. But the other day, I noticed the Zen chart was super, super low. And I said, wow, I know X1 is coming. I know that Jack is working hard on this. And he announced that, that there was things happening and they're looking for a wallet. I said, but the chart's not doing anything. I went YOLO, man. I bought 86 billion Zen right at the bottom. And then my buddy from New York, he writes me and he goes, Randy, you might go down in history as the guy who bought the absolute bottom of Zen. And I bought a nice chunk, and it's already gone up about 80% in value from where I purchased it. So, I'm making money, man. There's ways to make money.
I don't know how much 86 billion Zen is worth, but it sounds like a lot.
No, it's not. Actually, it wasn't. It was like I bought it for like 5,500, and now it's worth 10,700 or something like that.
Okay. Hey, cool, man. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
That's how you do it, man. You just, like I say, I don't chase candles. What I do chase is I like red candles. When red candles are way down and nobody's talking about a project, it's like non-existent. It's like gone silent. The community's gone silent. But I know that the founder is still working. I go for it. Now I'm going to give everyone a nice little token that I'm going to give you a little knowledge here that I think somebody could take advantage of is PulsePot. PulsePot right now is about 70 cents. And the reason why PulsePot hasn't done well is because they haven't had a decentralized oracle. And they need an oracle to run their casino, because that's what it is. PulsePot's a casino, right? Mm-hmm. I think they have 1 million tokens, and it's deflationary. So that would make sense to get into PulsePot, knowing that they are working closely with the Tetra guys to build or to get this Signum, the new oracle, ready. So if nobody's talking about PulsePot, it's at the bottom price, it's at the floor, and you know that the tool that they need is coming online to help them produce their full range of suite of games, it would make sense to go buy some PulsePot. So I'll probably put like $1,500 into it later today. But it's like picking up tokens when no one's paying attention. That's the name of the game. Another one, Hedron, Icosa.
Hedron, yep. Yeah.
No one's paying attention to Hedron, Icosa.
I haven't heard anything from
Anything.
Costa for months.
But we know the man's working, right?
Yeah.
We know he's going to bring something to bear. We know that something's happening soon. So Hedron and Costa, you back up the truck. Nobody's paying attention. The Jeet's jeeted, and there's not much lower to go unless you got guys who desperately need money, and so there are people like that.
Yeah, no. I just want to say the Hexiest man in the world. Thank you, man, for the $10 super chat. Shout out Randy and Corey, proud member of No Permissions, and can't thank Corey enough for all he does. I'm trying. Also, wasn't code audited and that exploit identified unless I saw the wrong audit. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Hexiest man in the world. I don't know if that code was audited. I don't really pay. I didn't pay attention. I think he's alluding to the one before 9mm. The one with the girl.
Oh yeah. I don't know. No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't participate in that. But Diego's got a good point. Yeah, I predict very fucking good, man. The only thing I couldn't predict is the fact that the SEC was going to come after Richard Hart.
But who said that? Because I couldn't see that.
Diego. Oh, you can see it. You should be able to see it. It's actually on my channel.
I can't see it probably because it's through StreamYard. That's probably why.
Yeah. I could, if you're on StreamYard, you can see both of them.
Oh, okay. I'm on StreamYard. It's a couple of feet away from me, but I'm looking at my YouTube comments. Okay.
Yeah. If Diego would have listened to me, he would have sold the top of Hex January 2021 when it was 12 cents. I was very adamant about that. I said we're gone too high. I called the top of Hedron, killed that one. I absolutely slaughtered that one. It made a lot of enemies in the Hex community when I did that. I sold the top of Hex in 2021. I've done pretty damn good. I made some great calls.
Good for you,
but the one with Richard, no one could have known that the SEC was going to do.
No, no one had an idea. No,
they totally slowed us down. Who knows? We may not have gotten 100x, but maybe we could have gotten 30 or 40x.
I do believe wholeheartedly. There is no question. Just like how Ripple missed out on, I don't want to say missed out, but was suppressed during the last bull market because it only went to $1.70 or something like that. That right now, Pulse Chain, PulseX, Hex, and Inc. are specifically suppressed because of the SEC's encroachment on Richard Hart and this ecosystem as a whole. And it doesn't also help that, unfortunately, a lot of people in the crypto sphere are very adversarial towards Richard in this community to begin with. So it doesn't help our cause by any means. There's very little support outside this community. I did see a rapper, and I'm not really into rap by any means, like especially a new school rapper, that has actually shown support for Richard. If you guys don't know who he is, it's actually Lil Pump. And I found
that the other day.
Yeah, I don't really listen. I don't listen to rap that much anymore. And Lil Pump, I don't know much about him, but I watch his stuff on Twitter and I look at his stuff on Twitter, and he seems like a very genuine dude. And I'm really happy that he at least supports us. That's nice to see. That's refreshing. So I definitely hope that there are more people that enter the space that may not have seen the quote unquote baggage from last bull market. When I say baggage, I say that term lightly, from last bull market. So my true hope is that Pulse Chain does come back, because first of all, it's in my self-interest and yours and probably everyone who's watching this. But I do believe that this community has suffered so much, and I really do hope that when this case does happen, that the lawyers are able to look at the price from where we were and what has happened as a result of the SEC coming in. Because if you look at what happened on July 31st to August 1st in 2023,
bad.
That would have never happened if there wasn't, that SEC and,
That's my point. We could never have guessed that, except that I went by the moon. I went the esoteric way. I said,
yeah, no, that's amazing.
Rough.
I'm surprised. Like, I know that you use a lot of esoteric knowledge for your calls, and I know it's like quasi astrology.
Yeah, I just go by the moon cycle. I don't even go deep. There's people like Waters Above who go really deep into numbers. I'm not into that at all. What I'm into is the moon cycles. I'm a former psych nurse, so I follow the cycles. People are crazy. People do stupid shit on full moons, and good things happen on new moons. And
what did you say? A foresight nurse? What'd you say?
No, I was in the military, and then I was a psych nurse after I got out of the
Oh,
military.
psych nurse. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, I was. Yeah.
Wow. That's quite
Yeah.
a career leap, man. Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was one of those jobs. I really enjoyed it though, because unlike working as a floor nurse, working upstairs and post surgery or something like that, or even in the ER and psych, you never knew what your day was going to be like. You come into work, it's peaceful, and then by noon, the whole place is throwing chairs across the room and shit like that. So you never knew what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm just grateful I'm a social studies teacher. I don't have any of that. I just have, basically, are we going to learn about the American Revolution today, or are we going to learn about ancient Rome and its relationship and its dilemmas and how it relates to modern day United States? That's all I need to do is be creative. So thankfully. But I do really believe that from a layer one perspective, that Pulse Chain does have all the dApps that are needed to succeed. It has DeFi, it has games, it has AI, it has an Oracle now. I got to say, shout out to Tetra, because we've been talking about an Oracle for Pulse Chain since its inception. Pulse Chain's inception.
We need it. It's desperate, man. That's why I said I threw the money out the window to that one. I was like, we got to have this, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very happy about that. That is not talked about much, and that is probably the most significant milestone achievement. I mean, forget version 1.8, 1.08, 1.09. But yeah, those are great updates for PulseX, but like a legitimate native Oracle for Pulse Chain,
decentralized.
Decentralized too. That is gigantic. And shout out to the Tetra guys for being able to do that, because that is something that is so undervalued. I should make a tweet about that. I'll probably do that after this, because Signum is very important.
It's good. It's good news, man. And myself and Firewhale will, I do a lot of stuff with the Firewhale, the founder of SolidX, and my tokens are his tokens. Like, we do stuff together. So
yeah, he's a great dude.
I'll be sending my tokens to him, a bunch of them, and he can set up his own reporters, and I'll have my reporters. It's another way to earn income. And I think it was Fast Abdul that said that being a reporter is actually more lucrative. You can make more money being a reporter than you can being a validator.
When you say okay, I see what you mean. Never mind. Sorry.
A reporter using the Signum reporting. You set up a computer. You have 100 reporters. You're going to be earning money every day for being a reporter.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you need any specs, or can you literally run it on like a Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be able to do it on a very simple computer and run a bunch of them off a very simple computer. And it's just going to pay you cha-ching, 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 and a lot better than what you would earn as a Pulse Chain validator.
That's amazing. I did not. I may actually check that out for myself.
Exactly. And Fasadul was saying that he's working with the guys, and they showed him that they got on a website with 3 clicks, you can get it set up on your computer.
Yeah, I got to have the Tetra guys back on the channel, because I think that Signum really deserves more press. So if the Tetra guys are in here, or if anybody has contact with the Tetra guys, I know that Stu is yeah, I would love to have them on again. But yeah, the Firewall guy is very, very, it's a very generous guy. He was very nice to me last month. Let's put it that way, with King Pooey, with the super chat he sent me. That really actually helped me a lot. So if he's watching on your channel or mine, I very much say with gratitude, thank you very much.
Hey, there's some people asking about the reporter in the chat. Guys, You can go back. I actually have a great video that I did with Stu and Access Alive and Crispy Man. It's from last weekend. Go watch that video, and Stu dives into it, because Access he's very technical, right? He dives in, and he wanted to know every aspect of what Signum can do and what the reporter, a person can make, and those kind of things. So go watch that video, and they really break it down for you.
Cool, man. So let me ask you this, Randy, as someone who's a developer, somebody who has been, I know you have extensive experience in cryptocurrency outside of Pulse Chain. I know you were avidly involved in Steemit. I know you've been avidly involved in different cryptocurrencies in the past. What do you think Pulse Chain is missing, if anything? Like, what do you think is the most important thing right now that is missing, that is really, if any, hindering Pulse Chain's growth?
Well, I think it's leadership. So
I agree.
We have great community. We have the best community in crypto. No, hands down,
agree.
man. Hands
I
down, the best community. But attitude reflects leadership, and right now, our leadership is just non-existent.
It's not.
We're fractionalized. You know,
Yeah.
we're all in different places, and you know, we got my group of about 400 people. People call it the cabal. You know, like the 9-inch cabal. We're all over here, you know, and people don't like us. but we're the think about it. We're the ones out streaming, and then you got the 9-inch guys who are doing the spaces a couple times a week, and their spaces are getting bigger and bigger.
They are. I've noticed.
They're doing a great job. So you know, we're out here working. So it's just that it would be nice if we had like an ADA. You have Charles Hoskinson, who's out there. In Ethereum, you got the guy who likes to sell his own coins on his
I know.
Heads. And I can't get over it that no one really calls it out. Like Vitalik, you're just dumping on your people's heads.
It's
millions at a time.
It's amazing to me that I think Richard can be very abrasive sometimes, and I really don't agree with a lot of things that he does from that abrasiveness. But I do think that it's very important to note that, to my knowledge, Richard has not sold on anybody's heads, and I think that's a very, very important metric to know. And what else was I going to say? I was going to say something about the Lost Child brought up something that was really was something that related to False Child, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. God damn it! But no, it's definitely something like when you look at leadership. Oh, leadership. Yes, because I know that False Child is very much into history and esoteric knowledge as well, and so are you. It kind of reminds me a lot of like the Mongol Empire. If you guys are into history, you'll probably know where I'm going with this. Mongol Empire was the second largest empire on the planet, just shy of the British Empire in territorial landmass. It expanded extremely quickly in the matter of 100 years. But once Genghis Khan died, his empire, that was literally the size of Asia, broke apart into different Canaanites. And it never really recovered after that because of the factionalism and the infighting. So the reason why I'm saying that is because right now the leadership on YouTube in Pulse Chain is fragmented. Everyone wants to be number one. Everyone wants to sabotage another influencer because either, I don't know, they don't stake their hex for 15 years, or they're involved in a P-Dye, or they're involved in the Tang Gang. And it's like, guys, like, you do realize you're turning into like if you continue this community is turning into like the Mongol Empire's fractionalization and schism after Genghis Khan died. So, you know, and I think that's concerning, to say the least. I don't think it's going
more and more like Ethereum. More and more like that's what happens to Ethereum a long time ago, because Vitalik isn't a very good leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just kind of there, and his political views do not align with the community.
Yeah, he's a figurehead, is what he is, and sometimes, and the funny part is sometimes you may, and even though you may not like that figurehead, sometimes you need that figurehead because humans are innately hierarchical.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you have kings and queens right now when you're in 2024, and it's like, why the hell do you still have that title? Well, it's more of a figurehead type paradigm that keeps the culture and the tradition alive of a nation. Doesn't mean that they have the same power, the absolute authority that they had in, I don't know, the 12th century, but they have that tradition that has led to the continuity of that particular culture. And that's what I think Pulse Chain is missing, and I think you hit the head on the nail on that.
Yeah, let's get back to it. And Thoughts said that we need a block explorer.
Yes.
Desperately, please.
Yes.
Yeah, and what that is, I just want to be able to click on the link one time and it not saying does not exist.
I agree. Yeah, the block
or something. Come on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree. I mean, if you're pushing out updates for PulseX, I think it was 1.07, 1.08, 1.01 in a matter of a week. If you're able to do that, I don't know much about coding, but I'm going to assume that you could make an effective block explorer. So, you know, it's definitely something that I think that needs to be fixed. I do know that a lot of people on PulseX want that DAO I think that adding utility for the PulseX token, I think, is very important. Having that DAO, that governance structure, single-sided staking, even though, like, I know, Hex kind of has that, but we're talking about PulseX here. But I do think those two things are missing right now. Do I think that they'll come soon? I don't know. I really have no idea. But I do think utility is important when it comes to PulseX too.
Yeah. I like Hackadomacedated comment. That's because you're either an RH Maxi or you're selling down. No. I'm not selling down. I am.
Yeah, neither am I.
I'm a bunch of other shit, and then that's what I buy my RH bags back with. And I don't borrow. I hate the borrowing features. I tried doing it, man. I got myself wrecked every time.
Yeah, no, borrowing ain't my forte either. Borrowing is too intimidating.
I don't do it well. To me, it's just another play of leverage. So I stay away from it. But, buy and hold strategy for me, that worked in my early days of crypto. It doesn't work for me anymore. Things come and go too fast, it seems like. So you got to be in there, participate, and earn while you can, and double down into your, like I said, my bags are about tenfold bigger now of PulseX than what I had prior to, what's it called? The right at the sacrifice when we had it,
Yeah.
My original sacrifice. Thinking about those numbers, they were so tiny compared to what I have now. Just my PLS that's sitting in LP right now.
Yeah, no, I know, bro. It's definitely. I agree. I think Matt. So I've had this conversation before that I think maximalism has its place because it keeps the somewhat of a tradition alive, but it also hinders those who don't really have whatchamacallit. You don't really have that type of mind state when people come into Pulse Chain and let's say they want to buy a meme coin or they want to buy a DAO, they want to get involved in DeFi and they don't really care about the staking concept or whatever. I don't know if you're going to be able to win them over on that prospect. And I actually see this with meme coins because with meme coins, for example, specifically, like, dude, they come, they go. Their trend stays for 12 hours. And unless you have a shitload of fucking insiders in them that are willing to pump them consistently, they either die out or they stagnate until a narrative comes that they're able to coattail on. And that's very, very rare. So False Chart has a question for me. You did a thorough analysis of the chain on its first B day. How would you amend that document these 4 months later? Did I do a thorough analysis? I don't know if I did. I did do a video on how to connect to Pulse Chain on MetaMask the first day it came out. Did I? I don't remember. Thoughts.
Did you check it out the first birthday? That would have been back in May, right, or something, March.
I really don't remember doing an analysis on Pulse Chain.
No,
I really don't. The only thing I remember, which it's my most viewed video, is the day Pulse Chain came out. I mean, if I wrote it, then yeah, please. I don't remember if it was on Twitter, please. I thought it was a video you were releasing.
I thought about doing more written analysis too. I used to be a big time writer. I was in the gold and silver world. I used to write.
That's awesome, man.
And I thought about doing that again I had my email list that I was building, and it was going very good, but I didn't like it because it was separate from the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a world unto its own, and it wasn't connected to the Patreon. So Patreon now, they keep adding all these really cool features, and
right.
So I can actually just blog on Patreon, and I'm thinking about doing that once a week, just sitting down in the morning and doing a thorough blog about where I think the state of, not state of Pulse Chain, but state of crypto, and talk about the different things, because very few people are actually doing written content for crypto nowadays.
No, I agree 100%. No, I agree. Let me just put the comments because my phone just died. So let me just check the comments over here.
Okay.
There we
go.
So
I'm just, I think it's time to get back to basics. Okay. I love TikTok, but the crypto TikToks that I see, I don't know these people. They don't have any history in crypto.
Right.
And people want to hear from the ones that have been around for a while. What I'm really disappointed in is all the people that I know. And I was looking through pictures. I was looking through some old pictures yesterday. And I want to tell the story about what happened yesterday, but
Sure.
we'll get there in a minute. I was looking through the old pictures, and I saw a couple of the old Bitcoin conferences that I went to. It was me, Trace Mayer, all the old people that everyone would know. We'd be at the VIP room or go and hanging out at Argentine cookout in the middle of the woods. Some cool shit, right? And the conversations that we would have, and back then, these guys used to sit down and write blogs.
Yep.
We'd have beautiful blogs explaining the state of Bitcoin and the M2 money supply and all these cool things and saying why Bitcoin's going up. We're not seeing that anymore. It's like it just fell off.
Bro.
And I think maybe it's time that a lot of these guys come back. Okay, we're in a meme coin market, right? But what if the pros, the guys that really know what they're talking about, what if they came back into this ecosystem instead of hiding? They all turned into billionaires. Come help the rest of us get there, guys. Seriously.
No, you're absolutely right.
Freaking Trace Mayer, man, good friend of mine, who I considered a good friend, one day went black, just disappeared.
Bro, it's funny you bring that up because the way I actually started working in cryptocurrency, like, getting, ambassadorship positions in the beginning in 2019 was because I was an article writer. I knew how to write. I honed in on a lot of the strengths I had through college. I was able to write my senior thesis paper of 22 pages in under 5 hours. And yeah, so I was able to do that. And I got I think it was like a B plus, like an 87, 88. So that's how I got, like, I was in the beginning, I was an article writer. I had nothing to do with YouTube in the beginning, Twitter. It was just being a Telegram administrator and an article writer. And my Medium page, I think I was involved with publications like Data Driven Investor, Hacker Noon. I have to check. Because I know
Vitalik got started as a writer.
Yeah, I have to check. I know I have like 275 followers on Medium from writing either poetry or articles about projects that I don't think exist anymore. But yeah, that brings me home, man, because that's how I really got involved in this space. That's how I actually got my ambassador role at Icon, because I wrote an article about Icon because I was so enthralled with its multi-chain. You remember Icon, right?
That was a Korean chain, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So I was enthralled very much with its idea of multi-chain compatibility that, basically Cosmos does now, that Polkadot does now. And I was very enthralled at that and connecting blockchains together, because I do believe, and I still do believe, that isolated blockchains are not going to make it in the long run. And I wrote an article about, democratic republicanism in Icon as a result of the multi-chain model the connected blockchain model that they were creating. And that got the attention from the founder, and that really honed in on my introduction to Icon. So, it really does, writing does play a huge role that is very undervalued right now.
Yep. We do have some good writing. Yeah, that's sure do. T. Kennedy was one of the first ones that I was introduced in the Hex community. And he actually came to me and he said to me, he goes, "Randy, you and I are the two main writers right now." Because back then I was writing for Crypto Daily. I wasn't getting paid. I was just writing for them.
Right.
They needed content, and they're penny pinchers, so I wasn't getting paid.
Yeah.
And I was putting all the Hex content on there, and they actually let me go because of it.
Because the Hex content?
Because I was writing about crypto or Hex, and they didn't like Richard Hart.
There you go.
That was one of the other the nails that I got.
You'd be surprised how many projects outside of the Pulse. I would say a good 2 or 3 have either declined me or have really no interest in introducing me to their network because of my affiliation with Pulse Chain and Hex. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I've said this, I'm not abandoning this community. I'm not going anywhere. I don't need to have strings attached to other where it's like, oh, you either talk about this or you don't talk about anything. And it's like, I'm not really about that. It's just
if anybody wants a real a tidbit of knowledge for writing, get in there and start using DBank and write your articles on DBank and then promote them. And if you get them promoted, then there's another level that your article could be selected for the article of the week. And then you start earning money. And it could be it's not as good as Steam It was, obviously. Steam It was freaking awesome, man. But
I know.
D-Bank could be cool. Cool way for you guys to do that. I'm definitely gonna get back into this writing thing. But I want to tell the story before we go. I know that we're
Go ahead.
But yesterday we went out to Cologne, which is on the Caribbean side of Panama. It's where my grandpa used to. Huh?
Does it smell good?
Yeah.
Good joke. Sorry. Go on. I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. Beautiful too. So we went over there. My grandpa served there when he was a U.S. Marine back in the 50s. So that's I always like going over there. And we went to the marina. And while we were sitting there, we saw a storm rolling in. So I'm taking a video of the storm, lightning striking, big, huge booms of thunder. My son's like, "Holy shit!" He's freaking out. He's like, "This is awesome," Well, then the power goes out. I'm like, "Uh-oh, something happened." And we get in the truck to go leave about half a mile down the road. Huge tree crossed the road, and there's only one way to in and out. Oof. And the marina, they have about 10 rooms at the marina. So we immediately drove back there, and there's probably 50 people there, 50 cars there loaded with people that were there to have lunch because they have a nice restaurant. And so we went and we rented 2 of the rooms just in case they didn't clean it up overnight. And we had to stay the night, right? Because I didn't want to sleep in the truck. And so we're waiting there about 3 hours. My wife and her friend are getting drunk, because we have nothing better to do. We're just having a good old time. And then we get in the truck after they finally cleared it. The fire department came down. It was a huge tree, and they cleared it out in about 3 hours. We're driving down the road leaving, and this huge crocodile. I hit a croc, man.
Oh, my God.
And I smack, hit him right in the nose. And I wasn't driving fast, only because it was very dangerous. I mean, there's tree branches all over the road because the wind was so bad. And I was going about 30 miles an hour. And I think I just tapped his nose. And everybody in the car, they didn't know what happened. They just knew I hit something. And I said, "Oh man, I just hit about an 8-foot croc." So I put it in reverse, started going backwards, and I could see in the rear view camera that he turned around and ran back into the. So
he was fine.
So I didn't kill him. I just smacked him good. But man, oh man, dude, what a wild ride!
My God, that is very wild, man.
And then we're coming back into Panama. We're going across. There's a highway that goes from Cologne to Panama City, and it looks like a huge accident up ahead because it's still raining. It's pouring. It never stopped pouring. And we get it goes down to one lane. You have to go around the accident. Well, a bus had hit a Nissan pickup. So it looks like the Nissan pickup tried to go around the bus quickly, and it caught the corner.
Oh no!
Caught the corner. The bus caught the corner of the Nissan, and it split the truck in two. Man, no one got hurt, amazingly, but this Nissan was in 2 pieces.
Oh my God!
I was like, "Can we get home, please?"
Yeah, it just sounds like a crocodile in an accident. Sounds like a very amazing adventure crossing those seas. Those
yeah, I was like, "Okay, we're going home. We're enough of this day."
My God, that's wild. And guys, I know if you're watching on, I want to just say, if you're watching on my channel, I would implore all of you guys. I have all of Randy's links in the description of the video. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure to do all of that. You can obviously see him dual streaming this as well. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Consider donating to the channel through super chats. I really do appreciate those who donated. Randy, you didn't have to do it, but thank you. And yeah, I just, I'm hoping that things turn around soon. I mean, this has been one brutal damn bear market, bro, and I want it to be over with very much.
I've made more money in this bear market than I've ever made in any bull.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad for you. That's awesome.
There's ways to make money even in a bear market.
I understand. Trust me, I do. I see a lot of the meme coiners now that are getting into meme coin. Again, I'm not saying that you should do this. It's not financial advice, but I never realized that people can get into a market cap at like 20K and then like sell at 500K and like make a considerable amount of money off of that 20X because like the market cap is so damn low.
There's people that got into Solid X right when it launched at 20 cents and they were selling at over $200.
My God.
They did very, very well.
I can imagine 20 cents, $200. That's like what is that, 1,000X?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them, guys. So, Randy, we'll definitely do this more often. I know that now I know how to share streams. So this is pretty easy. This is a lot easier than I thought it was. So yeah, man, I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you for your time. Great discussion. And thanks for everyone who came through. I know it's not easy right now, but keep the faith, keep doing what you're doing. And just stay strong. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Stay strong out there, folks. Have a good one.
Yep. Give me one. Yeah, I have to give into the glasses. I have glasses right behind me too. I know. Yeah.
Over here squinting.